Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Welcome back to Ironclad RC. We got the animal on the block, okay? I actually used a Blackjack 42 extra vinyl for my windshield. It looks okay. I kind of got it crooked. It was a two-piece windshield, and I just kind of split it, cut it to make it a one-piece, made it work. It looks cool. In this video, we're actually going to be addressing a leak. Basically, what we're going to do is completely disassemble the driveline. Okay, completely disassemble. Pull the Outdrives off. Pull the posts off. Use some adhesive to seal it up. Okay, the standoffs are going to be pulled off. We're also, while we have everything apart, we're going to address what I call a whistle. We had a whistle like 70-80 mile an hour, and it was only really for a split second, but I heard it, and so we're going to address that in this one. So stick around. Might be a long one, might not. Big B with Ironclad RC. First place I'm going to start, because I already have my stinger loosened up. Okay, basically to get this stinger barrel off, you pull this one screw, you loosen up this one nut. Got to be very careful because I don't have much threads. You'll scratch your barrel like I did. But you basically pull this off and pull this basically straight out the boat. Okay, it's kind of tough. You're gonna have to like wiggle it. I loosened it up just for the video, and it's got this little gasket. This right here actually comes off. Okay, so it's a 1, 2, 3, 4-piece barrel. Make sure you keep up with all that stuff. Okay, and that'll give us access to our stuffing tube. Okay, so that whistle that I heard was actually the Teflon liner. It shuffled around in the stuffing tube. So that Teflon liner should basically be situated like right on the end or close to the end of the brass stuffing tube. It shouldn't be that close to the collet. So what was happening, high RPM, that Teflon liner broke loose, and it probably was at one point or another probably was spinning in the stuffing tube while it was kind of working its way forward, and it gave me that odd sound that we heard in the maiden run. If I still have the clip, I'll play it here. Okay, so I hear something going on with my boat here. Okay, you guys heard that, right? So it's actually a fairly simple fix. I'm going to basically do this to both sides. The hard part is getting the Teflon liner out without messing up your boat. Okay, there's a lot of different ways to do it. If you don't care about the Teflon liner, if you're going to replace it, you can get a tight-fitting drill bit. A tight-fitting drill bit that fits inside that Teflon liner tight. Kind of tighten it up onto the Teflon liner and pull it out. If you're trying to save the Teflon liner, I mean, there's a dozen ways to do it, and I've showed you guys all kinds of different ways. You can actually, this is a pick tool I made for getting Teflon liners out. And I just stick it in there and kind of puncture my Teflon liner and pull it out. The bad thing, if it's stuck in there, then you'll rip it, pulling it out. You'll like, rip it. So we don't want to mess it up. So I actually have this file that works really good. See how it's like fat in the middle? This is good for 0.150 cables, because this will fit in a 0.150 liner and 0.187. See how it tapers? See how it's fat and it tapers? It's got that gradual taper, and you can spin it in there like clockwise, and it'll kind of lock on, and then I can unspin it and it'll unlock. Okay, so hopefully I can do it for you guys here. So I don't really want to like go in there too far. I just want to go in there far enough that I can grab onto that liner. It locks on. I'm going to spin it clockwise while I'm pulling so it grabs onto it. Now this is something I have to do to all my ready to run boats. Pretty much all of them I get. I'm going to glue this in. Okay, you don't really want the Teflon liner floating back and forth in your stuffing tube, or spinning. I guess floating's okay. I have several boats my Teflon liner floats in. It don't spin with the cable, it just kind of floats in there. It'll move back and forth a millimeter or two. On this is a high RPM, high speed boat, and I just don't want no play, so I'm gonna use some adhesive to lightly glue it into place. So did you guys see how it locked on there? And this is actually going to be good for this particular boat, because when you push your cable in through the barrel, okay, the cable basically goes into your Teflon liner, especially the stock cable. You got to round it off, okay, and this may have played a little role in pushing that, like breaking that liner loose, you know. I rounded mine, but I did put it in there without rounding it, and I probably, you know, broke it loose. So yeah. So with this file going in the end, and it's kind of like flaring, it's kind of like flaring the end of this Teflon liner. It's actually going to be good for future grease jobs. Okay, so our cable goes in there nice and smooth. It's not going to like catch the edge and push in on it, you know. You can actually get you like a hobby knife and, you know, bevel the end of it on the inside there, and that may actually help your cable slide in a little easier. Okay, so I think I'm just going to use some silicone. I've had pretty good success with silicone in my stuffing tube. You could use whatever. I was almost tempted to use this, but this dries hard. Almost tempted to try it. I've tried probably a dozen different products on different boats over the years, and you know, I tend to kind of use silicone. It'll break loose if you need it to. Apply a little bit of heat on the stuffing tube itself, a little bit, not much, just enough to warm it up, and it will break loose. I almost want to try this. I think it's an all-purpose glue. You know what? Let's try. Well, it might not break loose. So let's go ahead and use the silicone. I know this works. So basically what I do, I really don't want it to like permanently glue it in. So I really don't clean everything. I'm just going to wipe it down. Literally, just use a little bit. Don't need a whole lot. There's no wrong way to do it. As long as you can get your Teflon liner in place so it don't move around excessively, there's no wrong way to do this. You know what I'm saying? There's no wrong way to do it. Just a little bit. That's probably too much. Okay? And then I'm just going to insert it exactly where it was. Boom. Okay? Kind of work it in there. So while I have this off, I'm actually going to go ahead and pull this and seal this up. Okay? Break the three screws loose on the inside, pull this off, and then reinstall it. Okay, got my Teflon liner in. Looks good. It's just flush with the back of the stuffing tube. Okay, I actually loosened this post up. I was curious to know if the top of this was like sealed off, and it is. It's sealed off. I was thinking maybe this was fitting loose and water was like spraying in the boat from our post right here, but that's impossible. It ain't gonna happen. It could be loose or not sealed up here, and water breaking off this water pickup and spraying, hitting the overhang up here, and we could be getting water in through this area right here. I don't know. We're going to go ahead and reinstall our stinger barrel. Okay, like I said, it basically goes in there just like this. Okay, I wouldn't imagine we need to put any lubricant or grease on this. I wouldn't think. Okay, so it basically goes like that. You push it as far as you can, get it seated, make sure it's going to line up with your screw on your post, and then ever so carefully screw this guy right here in. This can be a pain in the butt. I've cross-threaded one of these on my Delta Force 35 TFL version, not with the post, but this style. I cross-threaded it. It was a pain in the butt. So you just want to get this tight as you can. Don't over tighten it. I don't think it needs Loctite. I mean, I guess you could put Loctite on it, but I think it's like a press tight thread orientation, and it shouldn't back out on you. Okay, so you don't want to do that. Scratch up your stinger. There's only little small threads right here, so get you a good pair of needle nose. It's going to grab. I hear that anodized scratching. Jeez. Yeah, that'll work. That'll do it. Maybe get another half a turn off camera. And I'm going to do the same thing to this side. I'm going to go ahead and pull that Teflon liner out, glue it in, reinstall everything. Right now, I'm actually breaking the stinger base loose, and I'm going to apply some sealant. Okay. I put this boat in the pool a while ago, and I just let it float there for about 30 minutes. And I seen it was pulled up with water in the sponsons, and the only thing I can think of, the only place I can think of, is the stinger base, or the water pickup through hull. So I'm gonna seal both sides, stinger base and both sides of the water pickup. Okay, so as you can see, I've got pollen all on my boat from letting it float in the pool. So this is what your stinger base looks like. Oh man, it's slippery. If I can hold on to it, okay, it's really nice. Alright, so the holes are actually drilled pretty tight. It's a wonder any water got through, which it might not be where it's leaking at, but it's as good a place as any to start. Okay, so I'm going to use this Loctite marine adhesive sealant. It is good stuff, but man, it dries up in the tube some kind of aggravating. You gotta drill a hole in it. Even then I can't promise you'll be able to get it out. Oh, what a pain in the butt. So I'm gonna do this here like this, make a freaking mess. And the same on this. It really don't need a lot. It don't need a whole lot, you know. As long as you got a little like gasket ring around it, it'll be good. And I usually clean up around the very edge for like when you put it on there, it'll press out. So I try to kind of clean up as much as I can before I put it on there. Okay, so a little update here. I got all this sealed up, both sides. Okay, I put my barrels on, took it out to the pool, and left it out there for like 30 minutes. I had a little drip, couple little drips. If you guys running in fresh water, it probably wouldn't bother you. I run in brackish water. My boat's got to be watertight. So I went ahead and pulled it apart again, and sealing up the post back here. It's really amazing to me. All of these screws for the Outdrives, the water pickup, even these screw holes are all drilled so tight that you can't even get the screw in without having to thread the screw in there. You know, they're drilled tight. The screws are screwed through the hole. It's amazing to me how water can get in through that. You know, even this post right here, it's tight. Like, you got to press it in there to get and turn it to get it to seat down onto the boat. You know, I mean, everything was drilled to a tight tolerance. A little bit of sealant would have been helpful. But I mean, if you're running in freshwater, like I said, it don't really matter. I mean, it does, but it's not going to ruin your electronics or anything. I went ahead and upgraded that little set screw to a cap head. I did it on both of them. Just makes it easier. I don't have to track down that little 1.5. I can just use it 2.5 or whatever that is and go to town. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and seal these up. Should be pretty simple. They just used a nut plate on the inside, so you just basically get this set on that post and then start your screws. Pretty nice. So I'm actually going to show you guys how I got mine in and out. I put this screw right here in there, like I mentioned earlier, but I screwed it in so I can grab it from the inside and on the outside so I don't scratch up my mount. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we're gonna actually, just smear it all on it. I can clean it up later on. I don't care if it pushes out right now. There we go. Okay, so what I did on the other side, it worked pretty good for me. You guys aren't really going to be able to see it. I need to flip the boat over. I need to flip it over like this. Okay, so what I did is I took some of this adhesive and I put it on the tip of my finger. It'll rub off on this, but it's just so much easier. I guess you don't need a whole lot. You just need a little bit, just enough so that this sticks to your finger and you can get it in there. Okay, go ahead, put this in and spin this on at the same time. You feel me? So you can see, might have to rearrange it on your finger to get it in the right area. I got long fingers. I actually got to put it on the very tip of my finger. This works real good for a lot of different things. Gluing the nut to your finger if you got to get something in the transom. Alright. I didn't want to have to ever take this post back out. I did both of them exactly the same. I put adhesive on the screws when I ran them in, you know. I kind of overdid it, but I didn't really want no water to get in my boat, and I didn't want to have to question my work back here, so I just went ham with it. So what I do when I have a bunch of adhesive like that, sealant, this is hand sanitizer. It's 80% alcohol. All right. And she got a whole case of these things, and I've been using them like it's going out of style, cleaning my boats and everything everywhere. So I use a nylon brush with alcohol. It's sealed up, and we're just brushing all the excess on top off. Okay, so I'm gonna get this cleaned up, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. As you can see, that little trick does pretty good. I had it Loctite everywhere. You got to do it before it dries. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it before it dries. This right here, I really don't care too much. I mean, I do. That's why I left it. I want it to be watertight. Aesthetically pleasing is a second, in my opinion. Moving on. So I'm out here to my test tank. I need a freaking... Oh, this pool is such a nightmare. Anyway, I got this in the water here. Okay, and we're just waiting for a leak. Hey, no sir. Come on, big dodo. What are you doing, you big dodo? What are you doing, huh? What are you doing, girl? What are you doing, huh? All right. Let's check it out here. Let's check it out. Just give it some time. Make sure nothing's gonna leak. Yeah, I think we got it. So I'm gonna go in and get this thing all cleaned up. I'll finalize and finish up the video for you guys. We took it out to the pool. It looked good. I just got back from a 91 mile per hour shakedown with the boat. Second run with the boat. Got 91. I'm very impressed. We didn't have any leaks. Well, actually, you know what? We did. We actually did have a little bit of water on this side. I think it was coming from this through hole for the push-pull steering. So what I'm going to do is basically just try to pack this full of grease. When I make my videos or I'm out at the speed run spot, I like to kind of jack my jaws. I'll let the boat sit stationary with those bigger 6200 batteries. All this is kind of underwater, in and out under the water. So I think our water was coming from right here. Okay, 91. That's freaking awesome, man. And the drive line, you know, in this video we kind of went through it inside and out. I did find out from Bill you can actually pull these Teflon liners. You can run this boat without Teflon liners. Stock stuffing tube. Okay, so if you want to, if you feel froggy or you're having issues with your liners, you know, or you tore one or something, you know, later on, several runs under your belt, you can actually pull the Teflon liners completely out the boat and run it like it is. And that's what I'm actually going to do. Just glue these things in, so it'll probably be a couple weeks before I do that. I actually rather run my boats without a Teflon liner. It's just one more thing to go wrong, in my opinion. You know, some guys may disagree, but that's just me. Okay, so yeah, hopefully this helps you guys out. Oh yeah, so what I use for my receivers, while we're kind of on the subject of waterproofing and stuff, Mark Gambino actually sent me like 100 of these things. You can get them on eBay or Amazon or whatnot. They work great, and that's what I have my receiver wrapped up in, and I just zip tie the end. Little silicone or Vaseline where the zip tie is. It just kind of reassures everything. Or you can use a balloon. I just picked up some balloons. I'll probably go that route just because it freaking matches everything, you know. Yeah, so yeah, she's ready to go, watertight. Let's go. See you guys next time. Big B, we're Ironclad RC.